pay for it.
Well, that's true. Boy, is that ever true.
So we're in a situation here where the whole world has recognized that we are the ones who are perpetrating all the environmental crimes. We're propping up all of the despot governments around the world who are tromping on their people and selling their natural resources out from under them to who? Us, America. And for what? A promise to pay. Someday we'll pay you. Right now, you can have these pieces of paper. This can't go on.
Ian, for the first time that in my lifetime that I'm aware of, we have a government official who yesterday and today, who goes by the name of Greenspan, came right out and said, we don't have the money to pay.
That's right. There is no money. There is no money. America went bankrupt in 1933. Officially. To the world. We went bankrupt. And a bankrupt system, you can't pay it.
Yeah.
You can't. And also, no one can ask you to pay. When you go to the webpage and you look up this stuff, you're going to find a public policy that was put out in 1933 called HJR 192. HJR 192 absolves all Americans of any possible debt. There is no possible debt in the bankrupt system.
Was that for 2 years? Was it really open-ended? Ian, please explain more about that.
Well, you'll have to go and read, because there's lots to explain. It's much better to read it for yourself.
Okay.
Because there's all the government documents, all the public policy is right on display.
If I don't make a payment on my car, they're going to come and repossess it.
That's the matrix. You don't have to live in the matrix. We don't live in the matrix. We told you we went bankrupt, didn't we?
Yes.
Yes. We have been living in our house without making any payments on the house for the last 15 months.
Yes.
We're still living here, and the bank hasn't come. It's all fallacy. It's all a big, big, fat lie. Now, what's going to happen very, very soon is that all of us Americans, every single one of us, are going to be caught with our pants down and our hand in the cookie jar. The jig is up. The world knows we're not going to pay. If Wimpy came to you and said, I'll gladly pay for a hamburger today, or a hamburger on Tuesday for a hamburger today, and he did that for 70 years.
Right.
What would you think of Wimpy? You'd think he was a criminal.
Right.
He's stealing, and that's exactly what we're doing to the rest of the world. And all of us have been sitting here fat and happy and sassy watching CNN and the boob tube. You know, we've been living high on the hog. On what?
We've been hypnotized.
On nothing. On promises that are no good. And that's why there's going to be a financial collapse. Every dollar you have in the bank is a debt. In other words, if you're a millionaire, you have a deeper hole than somebody who only has a $10,000 deposit in the bank. You are more in debt. The more money you've got of Federal Reserve notes, the more you are a hole. That's the truth of it. That plastic card in your pocket that only has electrons on it is all imagination. There's no value to that piece of plastic, except maybe cleaning under your fingernails.
Yeah. Ian, can you help? What I always like to be visual as possible. Can you describe to us what it might look like? And I'm guessing in the next few months, folks. Is it going to be a sudden thing like an asteroid hitting the Earth? Is it going to be gradual? What are the benchmarks? I think we've already seen one benchmark today, obviously, with Greenspan coming out and saying, look, we can't remember that Social Security we promised you? Forget it. We don't have it.
It's been gradual since 1977 when we went off the gold standard. Now it's not so gradual anymore. And yes, it will seem all of a sudden to most people who have no concept that the money that they're carrying around has no value. All of a sudden, it's going to be worthless. Buy silver.
Precious metals and maybe commodities?
Buy silver and buy seeds. Seeds to grow food are going to be very, very valuable. I know this is going to be hard for you guys to hear, but the public utility companies are not a public service. They are a for-profit business. And the trucking companies that bring food from wherever it's grown into the middle of the cities is not a public service. That is a for-profit business. When there's no profit in it, there will be no delivery.
Ian, when this goes down, perhaps there's a lot of people out there just like myself. Are people going to start taking things from us? Or will there be an order to stand down and everybody gets to keep, it kind of like everything is frozen, everybody gets to keep what they have at the moment?
Hey, what is the basis of the law? 99% of the law is possession.
Yes.
If you're standing there, you'll own it. With the banks out of the way and their horrible, huge, tremendous fraud that they've put on everybody, when that is disclosed, the person who is utilizing for a benefit to his community and himself a product or a piece of land or a home, that will be your home. Just think back when there weren't banks. Think back to the 14th century. I mean, people occupied a piece of land and it was theirs. They could send it to their descendants, and pass it on down the family line.
Yes.
And it's going to go right back to that kind of order and not this fallacy. Now, it's going to be rough, but boy, won't it be a relief not to have this lie that we all have to live.
What about renters? People who are renting homes, leasing homes, renting apartments?
The same deal. You're in there, you own it. All of it is a lie. The whole thing about mortgages, all mortgages are a fraud. The moment the ink is signed, that house is paid for. Without any payments, without any interest, by HJR 192, it's already paid for, including your car, including everything that you could possibly desire, because we're in a bankrupt system and there is no possibility of debt in a bankrupt system.
Ian, I'm getting some emails, one email saying that they had their house repossessed. This was 5 years ago.
Yes.
Was that an illegal act?
Yes, it was. And we have the data to prove it. In court cases that prove that forcible detainers and foreclosures are absolutely illegal. Absolutely. This has been hidden. You see, the lawyers are in league with the courts. The courts are sworn to uphold the banks that support the fraud perpetrated by the government. It's that big. The matrix is for real, except it's commerce.
For those of you just tuning in, you're listening to probably another one of the most popular shows that has been produced to this date, Ian Lungold. We're talking about many things, well, really, four in particular. And what we're talking about now is commerce and the collapse that is already on its way. And evidently, Ian clarified that it really, I guess it goes back to 1933, but in 1977, I think he said, is when the ball started rolling and really picking up. And I guess it's moving along exponentially, and now we're probably close to critical mass. I don't know, some of you young folks out there may not realize what a stunning announcement Greenspan made. People my age and older